I have a question for you, TD. How many guys do you think will go out and sell whatever other PCC they have and buy an FPC? How many?
None.
Really?
Yeah, I think they'll tell their wife they're going to sell it, but then they won't actually sell it.
So they'll add it to the collection?
Yeah.
Okay, part B of the question. Do guys collect PCCs?
Inadvertently, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So not by design. They didn't
Yeah.
plan it that way, but they have how many, would you say? A guy who really likes them.
3 to 6.
That's a good answer.
Because there's always a cool new one.
Yeah.
It starts with a Scorpion. That's really cool. Then
Love
it's
the Scorpion.
that Vitiaz clone. Then that's really cool. And then before you know it, they have half a dozen in the safe. And their wife thinks they only have 3.
Okay, as a review, we're honest here in TNP. You guys know that, right? That's why you keep watching decade after decade, literally at this point. We don't really like PCCs for GTW. Questions. We think they're dumb. We think it's the worst choice you can make in most, not all, most situations. What you really want and what we advocate and always have advocated is something a little bit more serious, kind of like this, an AR. Okay, and TD will go on a rant about compact ARs, and he's absolutely right. I mean, yeah, they do lose some velocity, but he and I have tested quite a few, and we've been pretty impressed. But a 5.56 dominates a 9mm. Questions?
If a 7-incher starts out slinging a 55 grain round keyholing, that's just extra.
It's not going to keyhole.
It's a 0.75 damage modifier.
Now, this is a test bed AR for the project, so it has a whole bunch of different stuff on it. It's got a primary arms red dot, Holosun, Warrior X Turbo. That is probably my overall favorite firepower, i.e. brightness and throw. Weapon light, it's got a flash redirecting KelTec cup on it. Caspa scope, that's a pretty inexpensive scope. It was being used for night vision testing. So the AGM Rattler, the AGM Neath, or as you say,
The knife.
the
Knife.
and other stuff like the Steiner Tor Mini. Go watch those reviews. We've done quite a bunch of night vision device reviews so far. Please support them. Anywho, AR is where you want to go for GTW. Questions?
It's more effective.
Capital Doodle, or am I just out to lunch?
Yeah, now that you have a whole ecosystem of short barrel stuff, you have 10 inches, 11.5, all these super quick, ready to go uppers and lower combinations. Why? Like, why go with something, these fiddly winks things that require boutique mags that suddenly require a whole different sighting system, and then you have to be wary of all, well, the bolt may blow sideways and ruin your eyeballs in this one. Why keep up with all that? Just get an AR.
The caveat is if you're in an urban environment and you want to go super stealth and you can your PCC up and you go a subsonic like a 147 grain bullets, then I can see an argument for it, and it's actually not a bad one. Because guy will say, hey, I can afford a 9mm. I already have a 9mm can. I've got my Sub2K already. Granted, this one doesn't have a threaded barrel on it, but let's pretend it did. And I'm going to can it up. Then I say, okay, that makes more sense, just as long as you know you're shooting, at least in a 9mm, a very underpowered cartridge for serious GTW purposes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we're introing that way because anytime a new PCC comes out, guys get excited. And they're like, hey, I want to add it to the collection.
Those are cool. They're new. They're different.
Yeah.
You got some new gizmo.
The bottom line is, and I've said this before, I'll say it again. For GTW, we hate PCCs, generally speaking. Enough said. Okay, but here we have the Smith & Wesson FPC, which stands for?
Functionally passable carbine.
Or Fresh Prince of Chicago. Here's your carry case. This is a win, by the way, boys. So that's a great carry case. Very reminiscent, by the way, from of the Ruger Takedown 1022. Yeah. So that was a good case. It's in gray. That's a very nondescript color. Very excellent. A little bit wider because, as you probably know, the Smith & Wesson FPC folding pistol carbine folds sideways. And so there's your, as you like to say, girth.
The Ruger case is actually a good lesson in how to do these right, because this one actually has a lot of extra space in there.
It does. It has pockets.
It's got room and all this stuff, which maybe you'd end up using, but kind of bugs me.
It is a fantastic case. We'll get to the gun in a minute, but we're going to waste more time before we do so, as you guys like us to do. Here's your case right here. So it's got like some grip swells in there you can interchange. We don't do that. It's got your manual and some other crap. Honestly, didn't even look in here. Thanks to Gunny's, by the way. Great American Gun Store for the loaner. Thank you, Gunny's. Ron Henning is helping me these days. Thank you so much. Wyatt. So we'll tell you at the end of the video, maybe we won't, would we buy the FPC, but there's your case. Let's hold that for a sec. And let's keep it real, because you're going to hear us talking about the Sub2K product a lot. Here's a Gen 2 Sub2K, and that's folded without an optic, a light, or a VG. Look at how thin that is. So in the battle of SAWC, the KelTec Sub2K still wins. Now, the third gen has what, TD? What's it doing now?
Rotating handguard, which I'm pretty sure used to be an aftermarket accessory you could buy. And I think that's like it. They have a trigger improvement, but still
so
no
it's going to
takedown.
fold. Here's your FPC right here, boys. It's going to fold just like this. So it's kind of funny.
No, it folds the old way.
Oh, it does?
It folds vertically.
Oh, then it swings to the
this
side.
rotates.
Oh, I didn't know
So
that.
you
Okay.
still, you rock
I have
it
not
back
seen one yet.
And then rotate
They are
like that.
pretty darn new. They were just announced a little while ago. But then again, I don't really keep up with industry trends. You're welcome. Here's the Sub2K Gen 2 form. And basically, as it comes from the factory, it does have a silicone tube cover from tacticalproducts.com. I bought that years ago and put it on. And that's about it. But look how small that is.
Yeah. Small and flat.
Small, flat, easy to carry, lightweight. The Sub2K really still setting standards. Go watch my ISA episode. That stands for Is It Still Awesome?
Ready to rock outside the box.
So the FPC is going to be a little bit heavier, 5 pounds, 7 ounces, without all this cool stuff on it. That is a Hollow Sun 403 in FDE. I believe that was a special edition from Optics Planet. I'll put the link below to these sights. They are still our go-to, generally speaking, reflex sights. They're affordable and they just work and work and work. This one's not solar augmented like most of them are, like I believe the 503 series is. But there you go. There's your FPC. Heavier, in a lot of ways more bulky than the Sub2K. What would you say?
Yeah, but it's not ready to rock out the box.
Yes.
No optics.
Good point.
No sights whatsoever.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Sub2K has them built in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, check
He's
that
right.
out.
He's right.
That counts for something, man.
And are they the best sights in the world? Maybe, maybe not. But you do have them, and they do work. And we've demonstrated this many, many times. Have we not, Tactical Doodle?
Yep.
Lock down a studio light.
Is this an aftermarket sight on here?
Let me see it.
I thought they all had the fiber optic
I think
stuff.
this is a KelTec site. So this is what they did to fix it. Huh. And I honestly forget all the generations. I apologize. But I believe that is their site on there. And they did fix it. It was rotating. I ranted about it in the year. Point being, we don't want to review the Sub2K here. What we're telling you is that you have sights built in. You're not going to have them with FPC. Okay, so that rant complete. Other than that, I think it's pretty good. I really think the gun calls out for a VG.
Yeah.
And since it is side folding, dude, we'll talk about how it's shot, and you're going to see us just loving this VG. You may hear us in the audio, which I generally mute pretty low. I used to post all that shooting video on the B channel, but no one was watching it, so I don't do it anymore.
Let's go see
the
how you
VG
did.
is awesome.
Yeah.
But with that and a red dot, would you agree? Ready to fight, pretty much? Well, I say fight. Let's put it in quotation marks. 9mm is a good cartridge. I like it in its intended purpose, and that purpose is generally for a pistol. You do get a little bit more velocity, a little bit more energy when you shoot out of a longer barrel. The FPC and its 4140 chrome moly steel barrel pushes out about 22% more velocity and about 45 or so % more energy depending on the load. So that's something.
Yeah.
It's still a pistol cartridge though. Getting back to our rant that we don't like them for serious social purposes, you can make the case, well, if it comes out in 10mm, would you be more excited? Yes and no. The yes part is, yeah, it puts out more energy. I love 10mm. You guys know that. I'm a big proponent of it. I love the Glock 10mm's. Frankly, I love the Smith & Wesson M&P 10mm 2.0. Another great Smith & Wesson product. We'll mention some others before the video ends. I love it, but it's expensive to train with. Very expensive to store the ammo up in a really full power load. The thing you got to watch out for in 10mm is that they're basically, a lot of them are pushing 40 Smith & Wesson velocities. So you're paying 10mm price, you're basically getting a 40 Smith. If you were to buy Buffalo bore and those put out a lot of velocity, get ready to have a real huge hit on your bank account or your credit card. That's the downside to 10mm. So I hear guys like, oh, 10mm. I'm like, dude, you can't afford to shoot it. You can't afford to stock it up in the proper load. It's a good thing and a bad thing. Now, we're going to say in this video that the FPC, the Smith & Wesson FPC, is going to be highly successful, not dependent on this review at all. It's going to sell very well. You'll have all kinds of aftermarket accessories and things come out for it, I predict, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Magazines, muzzle devices, things for the, the forend, whatever.
It's already started. I've seen a muzzle brake specifically.
For the FPC?
Yeah, for the FPC.
This is threaded 1/28,
don't you?
16 and a quarter inch barrel. Great profile, by the way. We're jumping ahead to features. It's not too
listen
skinny,
how
not
soft
too
that
thick.
hits
Really an
versus
excellent
your AK.
choice of profile for the barrel. Standard Smith & Wesson quality. I do believe that is phosphate coated and not melanite coated. I went to their website to see if it was melanite, which is a QPC coating like Tenifer or melanite. It's the same thing. I didn't see it, so I think it's just phosphate coated. But good job on that. Getting back to the success of the FPC, you're going to see it come out perhaps in 10mm,
Yeah.
45 ACP, maybe 30 super carry, maybe 5728. Which, by the way, is still hyper expensive and hard to find. So by far, the best selling one will be the 9mm. So when we talk about not a great go-to-war option, in most situations, not all, that we're looking at 9mm. Okay, so philosophy of use, we're going to focus generally, and you're going to see our overlay shooting on this. We got way carried away for shooting this.
Yeah.
Like, we shot it way too much.
It was fun.
It was fun. That does happen, especially with a cartridge like 9mm that's not breaking the TNP bank. We sometimes do that, but recreational. It's just super fun to train people to shoot with a FPC. It recoils very little. It's fun. It's just a right amount of noise. It's easy to understand how it operates to a new shooter. Home defense, yes. I do like that POU a lot because you can obviously fit a light to it, accessories. It's not too overall. Its length is not too long to not be, transportable through hallways and stuff. I think you're better off with a pistol, debate there for sure. Okay, truck gun, yes. Boat gun, yes. BOK, no. Too heavy. 5 pounds, 7 ounces naked, forget it. That's not counting pretty heavy ammo, pretty heavy metal magazines, no thank you. BOK? Vehicle bug out kit? I would say probably not. I want more. There's a lot of guys I talk to, though, in the Patreon environment. You should join, by the way, and join his Patreon. We'll hit you up again for that. Tactical Doodle has a Patreon. I have it. If you want more content from us, support with money. That's what motivates us. Well, not money, but it just shows true support. So if I run into someone, I love your product. I'm like, are you a donor?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm like, okay.
All right.
You kind of like it, but you don't love it. If you love it, you'll pay a few bucks per month. Thank you to paying Patreon members. On we go.
Yeah, I'm hearing all the disembodied voices of guys that act like being underpowered is a positive.
Okay,
and
good point.
I don't know, it's weird. It's a different ecosystem than I would ever want to exist in.
In Vehicle Bug Out Kit, and by the way, we have a 4-part series posting on the B channel, which is the Nut and Fancy Project, one word in YouTube. Type it in, it'll take you there.
The gun channel, not the nude yoga channel. It's 2 different things.
Yeah, the nude yoga channel's different. Yeah. That's a completely different address. It's a new thing I'm starting up in case the donation thing doesn't work out. I only have like 2 subs there so far. Pretty
Build
bad.
Speed when you least expect it.
And I'm having a real hard time meeting community guidelines over there as well.
That shouldn't be too hard, actually.
Yeah, they're probably good with that stuff.
I think they are.
Anytime you show something gun related, they get all excited. VBOC, we go with a 5.56 gun. There's guys that we talk to in Patreon that are going with 5.728s. There are some PCCs. I saw some guys saying KelTec Sub2Ks. I say more power to you in an urban environment when you're just trying to get home, and that's the purpose of a vehicle bug out kit. Makes sense, but in our neck of the woods where the shots could be longer, And apparently road rage is the thing in Utah. We want more. And so we're taking more. I would say no to V-Bach personally, but to each his own.
If it makes
Spin your own flavor, bro.
If it matches your pistol mags, then I get why someone would say I just want 100 rounds that can fit in my belt gun and my trunk gun.
True that.
There's some thought behind that.
Yeah, collectability. It depends. Like if you have a PCC collection, which is interesting, it's really fun to have different types and compare them. And I think there's some guys that are into that.
Maybe.
I really wonder how good PCCs are selling. I think good, but not as fast as they used to sell, but I am not sure in my information.
Yeah, I think flavor of the month PCs sell really well.
And
you see them come out, and then everyone and their dog buys them. All the accessories, they dominate the news cycle for like 6 months.
Right.
Then everyone forgets about them. Then they get the price cut. Then it's
So
Gen 2,
true.
Then we all stop thinking about it.
Speaking of which, some guys will ask me occasionally, they'll go, hey, why don't you post your video on, let's say, the FPC quicker? The answer is what I've always said. We are not part of the media launch crowd. So the media launch crowd are people who are known and associated more or less to the gun companies. They get shipped out free guns and they are said, hey, we want these reviews to break by such and such time. And it's understood that the reviews will be positive, generally speaking. That's not us. We either say good stuff, sometimes it's a rave review, sometimes we rail on stuff, but we're our own timetable, no apologies. Sometimes it'll come out 2 years after the gun's been issued, and I have too much content.
Well,
We're a gear adventure channel. I'm not a gun channel. And that's shown by like a lot of the gun tubers. Like if they post a video, they'll get astronomical views on it. Generally, I don't, because I speak the truth, and I generally don't tell guys what they want to hear. And what they want to hear is when something's new and fresh, they want to have super positive reviews on it, so they can go out and buy the newest and freshest thing until it gets stale a year later. Then they regret their purchase and they sell it and they go on to the next thing, the cycle you just described.
it's the new toy cycle, and it's how you feel alive when you're just a little
So they
broken.
look for voices that reinforce that experience. Instead, in TNP, you get
Policy
real.
carbine.
You just get no bullshit, real. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. That's POU as we see it. Features. I talked about the barrel already. 16 inches, perfect diameter.
I don't mind it.
You got a thread protection
Policy
cap there.
carbine.
It did come loose during firing. I recommend you put blue Loctite on those. Some of you guys will say, yeah, but the barrel heats up. I still do it, and I'm glad when I do it. It's going to be better than nothing. I have lost multiple thread protectors on multiple guns when I
up with
have not
something
done
funny
that,
that
and they're
stands
off in
for
the
it.
desert, still laying out there somewhere. Who knows where in the hell they are.
You got to go on AliExpress and get like a sport airsoft ring guard for airsoft.
Yeah, who knows what they call it.
A 20 pack of 1.5 by 28 or whatever.
So this is a polymer handguard, M-lock slots in there. We did put the VG on it. It mounted very solidly, but again, you can put lights. Not too sure about lasers. I didn't really test that to see how, stable that forend is. I don't know if I'd do that because obviously we're rocking a red dot.
And it's all M-lock, which I kind of like. Everyone keeps doing these weird things where they'll do like, they save money on machining and they'll have them closed and then a couple up here.
Yeah, well, that's the plastic part, essentially.
Yeah.
You can see the screws holding that together. Very KelTec-ish, by the way. M1913 rail on top, so plenty of room. I don't really mind a full rail on a polymer forend because it really doesn't add that much weight.
Yeah.
The gun itself, though, is not polymer. It has an aluminum, very stable frame. That's one thing I love about the FPC.
Yeah.
So if it gets hot, it won't wiggle around and actually start slinging rounds like some other Smith & Wesson products did, namely the M&P 1522. We tested that about 12 years ago, and when it got hot, that thing would just kind of undulate because the whole thing was made from polymer. Apparently, Smith & Wesson's learned a couple lessons, it seems. Going back on the gun, what's that remind you of right there?
It's an MG42.
Yeah, buddy. That looks so MG42-ish right here. This section of the receiver here.
And really, you can thank the Germans for that because this entire design was lifted directly from the notes of an Operation Paperclip guy who designed a Volkssturm paratrooper carbine. The idea was they would get 68-year-old German men and drop them behind Red Army lines.
Are you being serious now?
I'm making it all up as I go.
There's your folding mechanism. That's how it folds. That's how thick it is. Obviously, much thicker than this, but a totally different folding approach.
It does feel more robust, the way that lug locks into position.
It does. All this is super high quality. We absolutely love that hinge. It just rocks.
And it's surprising.
And listen to it when it locks in position. No movement whatsoever. To be fair, the Sub2K, when it locks in position, it's there.
It's not even that big of a size difference. And when I first heard that, I was thinking, oh, cool, it's
There's
like
your
it's
button right
aluminum.
here
It's
for the FPC.
a metal shoe going into position, but that's just poly.
True. It's very similar, just a different orientation. And you cannot fold it loaded, the FPC, for that matter, the Sub2K. Okay, and that gets to Doodle's rant because he thinks to get this in action. Go ahead, Doodle. It's going to be slower.
It's just it's another
versus
thing.
a shorty AR like an AR-15
Unzip,
pistol.
Unfold, or I guess unlatch in this
So
case.
you would loaded mag, so we would fold it, charge it. Now I don't have a loaded mag here, but let's just pretend I did, and then I'm loaded.
Yeah.
Safety off. I don't think it's that slow, but you have a point.
As opposed to
it's more steps.
My hypothetical mini Draco, unzip, up, safety off, bang.
Okay.
It's quicker.
Point
and when
taken.
people are big on using them as
Point
a truck
taken.
gun, they're always kind of in like the zombie thing of people smashing in the window.
Here's the thing, though. Guys like James Bond. They like James Bondy things, and James Bondy things are things that fold and get really super duper compact.
Give me a minute. I have to assemble my rifle. Guys, just like 5 seconds. Could you just be cool?
Your ambi charging handle holds the folded piece in place, so that helps so it's not bouncing all over the place.
Yeah.
And overall, we're just super impressed with the folding mechanism. The trigger, also super impressed. How about you, TD?
Yeah.
It's like basically the Smith & Wesson M20 series, and those triggers are just so squared away. We've been talking about the M20 triggers for probably about 8-9 years now. I didn't measure it, so I don't really have a measuring pound for you, but just really excellent once I put the safety off. Excellent. Great trigger. Yeah. Tell them about what you like about this trigger versus the Sub2K.
It's rigid.
Yeah, it's a good trigger.
So that's a aluminum trigger
which
with
is
an
good.
in-blade safety is what TD's saying versus a full polymer double action only type trigger on the Sub2K. Sorry for the direct comparisons, but most guys are going to be wanting to know this stuff from us. I've never had a trigger break with the Sub2K ever, but there is some flex in it. True or false?
Yeah, it's wiggly.
It's a little bit wonky.
I don't like it when parts on my gun are wiggly.
Agree. Great trigger. Trigger guard's big enough for gloves. Yeah, a little undercut action here. This pistol grip, as I understand, is basically off their Smith & Wesson M&P 9 compact series, and it will interchange with those magazines.
Which is good.
Compact and full size, they'll take those mags.
I wish KelTec would have done the same.
Word. And are you talking about like the height of the pistol grip?
Well, because if
This is like the P11. In this generation, this is like the old P11 grip.
I'm just talking grip length, because a buddy was shopping for these the other day, and he was asking me, sending me texts like, "What's the difference between a Glock 19 sub 2000 and a Glock 17 sub 2000?" I was like, "What the hell?" Turns out
I didn't even know they did that. To be honest,
you have a longer one and a shorter one. So if you get the longer one, you can't use 19.
Are they still doing that in Gen 3s?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I didn't
And
look
that's not gospel. We're just spitballing here. Okay, so great trigger, great stippling here. Obviously, it's fantastic. The whole grip is fantastic. You will get 4 palm swells. I did hear from a donor recently, because I always rail that no one uses them. He goes, I use them. So I need to represent that. There are guys with huge hands, huge mitts. They'll put a larger palm swell on. They're in your carry case for the Fresh Prince of Chicago. What?
I don't know. I just always grimace because guys are like, I got big hands, and I know it's not big from powerlifting.
It's big from eating. You have a awesome magazine release here. You can swap it, I believe, just like you can in the M&P series. No difference there. And then your safety is a cross bolt variety. I don't mind it in the FPC.
Yeah, I actually like that.
There's some guns like the KSG, I absolutely detest it. But here, as you're holding it, your safety is right here, and it's laser stippled, contoured to basically set flush in the frame of the FPC. I hope I'm showing that
right where you'd rest your finger.
Really nice. So all that's good. We've got no complaints so far. Here comes one right here. What do you think about that bolt release lever?
Great.
It's right here.
I love it.
It's
tiny.
so hokey.
It's ambidextrous, which is vital to me, and really just love it.
Completely worthless.
Yeah.
You're just going to slingshot it. The good news is this charging handle, ambidextrous, is made out of a polymer. And the polymer is nice because when it's super cold, it won't transfer to your hand. Yeah. We did shoot it in cold, but not super cold. Will it crack sometime? I don't know. Go ask the owl. But it worked good for us in the testing environment we set it in. You're just going to slingshot it there.
Yeah. You got to hunt.
Okay, let's talk about magazines real quick. Overall, you get a lot of value with this. You're going to get 117 round mag for your FPC, and you're going to get two 23 rounds. They're 23s, aren't they?
I think so.
And you have this jonky spacer. They should lock this down. I just hate that.
I know.
That's so stupid. Come on now. And now I can epoxy that, and I probably would.
Dumb.
It's dumb.
This is like what you buy off a dude online. He's like, hey, if you send me $10 on PayPal, I'll send you some of my 3D printed stopgaps.
Now, you may be asking, why do they even need that? I don't know for sure, but having tested short magazines and Glock 17s, 34s before, what you can have happen is you can have a rotation of the magazine. It can change the feed of that round, and it can induce jams. I've had that very seldom in Glocks. Yeah, that's why they have it there. I think, I'm not positive, and also so it's not going to like pinch your hand.
Yeah, because the power lifters.
Yeah, because there's your hand fat right here.
Yeah.
By the way, these are second skin gloves. They're pretty awesome. I'll put a link below. StrongSuit is the brand, and they're getting worn out. Okay, so the magazines, then you have a big polymer base plate here. You can take them down. The magazines are just standard at Smith & Wesson. Insert your rant that it's not a Glock magazine. Go.
Not a Glock mag.
Okay.
I don't have an
Is
M&P.
that a big thing for you, TD? And
I don't have an M&P. No one I know has an M&P. I don't know any like M&P operators, so I'm guessing, extrapolating that most guys in the market don't already have a ready stock of a ton of these.
That's a valid point.
They probably have a shit ton of these. They have a whole shoebox buried somewhere in the backyard from the last panic when they probably
We've always said
$42 a piece.
that if you do a PCC, you're wise. You don't have to, but you're wise to dovetail into this existing magazine system for all the reasons we just talked about. That the FPC does not use a Glock system. Is it the kiss of death? My opinion is absolutely not. You say nobody owns M&Ps. I think, I wouldn't say a lot, but a fair amount do.
My friends are much poorer than your friends.
Well, I'm looking at the TNP audience as a whole. Dudes I've talked to through the years.
Probably because that Mac.
ETS is, that's an ETS, Smith & Wesson M&P Mac, so this will fit. And they have what?
They have a 40 rounder for it.
So there's going to be higher capacities coming out, and so they are available.
Yeah.
For my 2 cents, I would have liked they used a Glock mag, kind of like their Response AR9 does.
Yeah.
So the Smith & Wesson AR9 Response has a flex mag capability. It can use Glock magazines, and I think some other magazines from other systems. But what comes with a Response is a 23 round mag, just like you're holding right there.
It's just
it's another blowback AR9 by Smith & Wesson, and I think it is selling pretty good.
It's like if we were to go forward 100 years, I think you're going to see not many of those. I think you're still going to see people printing these on Mars. Because the design
on Europa.
The design is beloved. It's out there, and you have people that are focused on keeping that ecosystem
That's
alive.
a 115 grain XTP, in case you're wondering.
Yeah.
That's just a standard pressure load. But the magazines that come with it, you do get 3. That's a fair amount of firepower. You do have this somewhat cool magazine storage system in the very SOP modish, non-adjustable rollover cheek piece stock 14.5-inch pull. So this is how it works. And overall, is it cool? It's okay. I mean, we used it and we had a hard time actuating this because I guess we're dumb. But apparently you like press the offside and then you extract this magazine. It's meant for your offside hand. What do you think they should have done with this one?
Just put in normal mag catches.
What if you accidentally depress it though?
If you have a stiff enough spring, well, given how low profile
you could recess it.
Look at how small that mag is. That one's kind of hard to do.
You mean the mag
put another
button?
One of those on there. Yeah, this is fiddly bullshit right here. I don't like it. It's hard to do under stress.
On the upside, though, that is
sense.
metal, so it's not plastic or polymer, so it won't snap. But anyways, you can carry 2 mags in the stock. When you do, it adds a lot of weight.
It does crowd you, too.
It does crowd you, but it's 46 rounds that you don't have to find a holster or a pouch or in your pocket, and it is readily available. I like it. I like the option. You can't ignore it. Okay, and you can bring it down. And you get 3 mags. Once again, I think that is really good value.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Again, this is non-adjustable right here. What do you know? QD cup right there.
I like that.
That's
It
cool.
is only raced on the inner track, I think.
Okay.
So it's not.
I didn't run a sling with it, guys, so sorry. There's your butt pad. I thought overall the stock was actually better than the Sub2K. It has a better presentation. I didn't find it sliding around on my shoulder like I do the Sub2K. You see me putting athletic tape and other things on mine to prevent it. And then M Carbo makes, I think this is an M Carbo extension I have on there. I can't tell. What were you going to show them?
Well, I'm talking about how it's kind of fiddly. If you were to show this stock to someone and just hand it to them, they will think this is a stock adjustment because it looks that way. It's got the spring.
That's true.
That's what I was thinking about it. It's,
right.
I don't know. This is the kind of thing that I think most people won't care. In Gen 2 of this gun, they're going to swap it out.
I like that. I love predictions. Features. Anything we missed? We talked about the fold down. We're not taking it down for you because you don't care. Oh, it has a big chunk of metal in there. It's like 1 pound, 10 ounces or something like that. It is a blowback gun, but they do have a recoil buffer system involving a larger spring that makes the FPC shoot softer, and I would concur with that. Would you?
That's a very Smith & Wesson kind of thing lately. All their guns
ergonomics, a focus on ergonomics.
It's like the human factors. How does it feel behind the trigger? Does it snap? Is it easy to rack? Is it easy to? It's cool. It's not something you see too often on the market.
Right. Let's talk about this real quick before we leave features. It is heavier, and in some ways bulkier than the Sub2K product. You need to decide what's most important to you. I think my biggest reservation on the Ruger PC carbine was its weight and its size, but it was not a folder like this one is. This does fold. I'm not going to say 5 pounds, 7 ounces naked is like an outlandish weight, but it is more than a Sub2K.
But this does have
a naked Sub2K like this one.
Mount where the others don't.
Bayonet mount. Yeah, Sub2K is still setting standards. Now, we're going to talk how it shot, but here's the thing. And I just heard an off-camera rant from Tactical Doodle, is that Smith & Wesson is basically taking KelTec's ideas and doing their own guns, right?
Yeah, it's like they look at them and go, that's a cool product. Now, what if a gun manufacturer built it? Because there is something about this. It's like if you told me that this is a company that focuses on roller skates and fishing reels, I'd be like, yeah, I get it. It has that. There's something about the plastic. There's something about the way it's put together. It's...
Some of the greatest products in the firearm industry were not made by gun companies.
You can tell that they don't have 100 years of firearms manufacturing experience before going in.
The thing that really pisses us off about KelTec is that year after year, decade after decade, they're still shipping unreliable products that piss people off.
And then they blame the Florida swamp gas. You don't understand. There's gators in the parking lot.
Let's get going. So the thing is, Smith & Wesson, were they inspired by the Sub2K? Probably.
Of course.
Along with a lot of their other guns. I mean, they came out, we just got done testing the Smith & Wesson 22 mag, which is basically the Smith & Wesson 5.7. It tested fantastic. And it was what the PMR 30 wished it would be.
I love that.
The PMR 30, we ended up selling ours because one, they shot like a foot high. Yeah. And then if you didn't shoot exactly the right load that it liked, it would jam. So anyways, KelTec, great ideas, poor execution, poor QC through the years. The M&P 12 I think of as a product improved KSG. A little bit heavier, probably. But dang, that's a good gun. Did you like it?
Yeah.
Other Smith & Wesson wins. The CSX, awesome, cocked and locked carry, amazing. This one right here, the Equalizer, cast member. I ended up buying this one, the test version. This is a gun, a can do most things gun. So home defense, yes. Carry, yes. Purse gun, a little bit big, but yes. Vehicle gun, yes. So this is really a gun that's suited for people that aren't into guns. That's why they have a grip safety, so another safety device. It's not too light, it's not too heavy, it's not too thick. It's cost effective, comes with a lot of mags, just like this FPC does. That's a TLR7, by the way. Awesome weapon light, super compact, not a no light, link below. But it's another good example of, like you said, ergonomics from Smith & Wesson. Easy rack force, Shield EZ, another one. They have an SD9 coming out. Here's our old SD9 with my Apex trigger job in it, but they have a new variation of this. I've always been a fan of the SD9. Everyone else just trashes it. The original one had a horrible trigger, but that one's going to retail for $350 with an improved trigger. The new SD9 version 2.0. Just to name a few. So point being is that, are they inspired by KelTec or probably some other manufacturers stealing from KelTec? Yes. But the thing is, you as a consumer win because of it. How did this shoot? Tactical Doodle, did you love it?
Yeah, it was fun.
Way fun. That recoil buffer system, it works. We just got carried away. We just love shooting it. You'll see it in the video. We're laughing. We're giving thumbs up. We're like, yeah.
Good,
and he's really important to have
like
along because he doesn't have any dog in the hunt. Honestly, nor do I. And I just either him or Sean, the TNP, or Jardine. I like having those guys shooting and just seeing what the reaction is on a gun. Sometimes it's good, and sometimes, honestly, they're not impressed. And they go, this sucks. And they tell me as much. And we may vary. We may go, oh, I like it. He doesn't. Sean and I have had some variances, but I love the input.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
I'm just not super dazzled by stuff that I know I should be dazzled by. You know, when a friend's like, check out this Nighthawk, man, and I'll put a few rounds out.
Yeah.
Oh.
But you're jaded, too. You've shot hundreds and hundreds of guns.
But it doesn't matter. You tell me it's a $4,200 gun, I'm going to be like, okay, it feels like a
And there's guys that will pay that,
one.
though. Reliability. We ran only about 150 rounds of hollow point through it. No jams whatsoever. I ran 124s, 147s, 115s through it. 100%, and the rest was FMJ. Various loads. I think we had some SMB in there, a little bit of Wolf Steel, and I think it's cycled that. Winchester, white box, was good. Here's your accuracy. And this is with a Holosun 403, which we do love, although it's not solar augmented because I wanted to save a little money by buying that one. This is your accuracy. Slightly disappointed, but it was a red dot, and you can see my notes there. Holosun 403, windy, so keep that in mind. Holy shit. Almost like a Sub2K in accuracy, a little bit disappointed with the groups. You can see them. That one's, but Federal shoots all over the dang place. That's Federal American Eagle. It's horrible. It's for accuracy. There's some 147 JHP. I thought it'd be doing a little bit better than that. I did dial up one data point for the FPC. I did it tonight. I went and looked at American Rifleman's review, so I like that. That's the National Rifle Association Gun Magazine. I still recommend you join. Keep your membership current. I have always said that. No apologies. They did an FPC review. They're getting 1.6 inches of accuracy with a magnified optic. That sounds about right.
Yeah, for a folder.
Mixed loads, probably better loads than I was shooting, so that's not bad. And I would say the accuracy is about on par, maybe slightly better than the Sub2K from just going off memory. Would I buy a Smith & Wesson FPC? Two-part answer on that. For a primary go-to-war carbine, my answer and probably yours is no. Like if I'm buying it and it's going to be my go-to-war gun, no. I'm not going to put my faith in a 9mm. One reason is we shoot steel all the time in the windy desert. Dude, when you shoot at 100 yards with a 9mm, a 115, when you hear it hit, it does not inspire confidence. You hear a dink at 100 yards. And some guys like, well, I can stretch out to 200. I don't recommend it. Now, if you do a plus P 124, it's going to hit harder, better, a lot more money. Pony up. It's a lot more money. 10mm would be a lot better, but like we said, 10mm has its own problems. It's expensive to train with, expensive to hoard it up, and you need to hoard it up. For an overall PCC cast member here in the project, recreational, fun, running drills, even home defense, maybe vehicle defense, my answer is yes, I would totally buy an FPC. How about you, Tactical Doodle?
No.
Ooh, look at that. There's a variance right there. Tell them why. I already know the answer.
The mag ecosystem is totally foreign to me. I'm not buying an M&P anytime soon. I like it. It's cool. I just don't. I already got a Glock ecosystem, and I have no reason to change it. And it's too thick to fit under my car seat, which if you're using it as a car gun, There's something to be said about that.
I'm glad you brought that up. That's a
Yeah.
really valid point. I like how that locks in once again.
Yeah.
As a reviewer, I already have some of these. So as a reviewer, I already have a stockpile of Smith & Wesson M&P mags. There you go. Yeah, look at the thickness, dude. It's different. Definitely thicker.
If you got a seat that could accommodate that, then yeah. I like the shooting dynamics better.
Oh, man. Yeah. And you mentioned the fact it doesn't come with iron sights. I would say the iron sights, once again, on the Sub2K, I got to really hunker down. They're uncomfortable for me.
Yeah.
I much prefer it, as you can see with the mods I did on this one. Well, this setup right here. So you got another Holosun, then what do you know? Another 403. And that's an O-Light Balder on there. And a VG. And that's a setup that's very comfortable to shoot. But then I've lost my folding capability. And that's an aftermarket forend I put on there. So the answer is he wouldn't buy it. I would. It is recommended. It's another win, I'm going to say, from Smith & Wesson.
Yeah, RDB
accurate,
survival.
reliable, fun to shoot, durable, well made, giving you a lot of value for your money. You get a cool carry case, 3 magazines, a whole bunch of other stuff you'll never use. It's a win.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me say this, though, and this is important. Is it going to replace the Sub2K as the most popular PCC in the market? The answer is absolutely not. The Sub2K will hold its own, especially with the Gen 3 and the new folding mechanism they have. The Sub2Ks are going to continue to probably dominate the market. They are going to be a little bit less expensive than this. All I'm saying, we're saying, is that the FPC is going to hold its own and be popular. It's not going to be discontinued. How's that for a prediction?
Sub2Ks were just on sale for Christmas for like $330.
Jeez, that is amazing. It's great to add another PCC to my playlist. So far, I have not been canceled in YouTube. At the very least, please subscribe, hit the notification bell. Watch another Nut and Fancy video immediately after this one. That's the best way you can hide an algorithm that shadow bans me. So dial up another one. You'll see at the end of the video, maybe a recommended video. Just hit that, walk out of the room if you don't want to watch it. Become a donor. Donors make the world go around here. Tactical Doodle has a Patreon now. I'll put a link to his Patreon, mine. Thank you so much for all the support. We really, really, really appreciate it. These t-shirts, by the way, are in stock.
Yeah, I got some.
So go to nutandfancybigcartel.com. The link is below. There is stock, and he ships them out. Do you have any more hats, or are those gone?
A couple more. I'm probably going to start cutting them off so we can save some, though.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Because they are never going to make them again
We
for us.
did a third-party hat and t-shirt project a year ago, and it flatlined. No one bought anything. True or false?
Yeah.
So we may come out with new designs, but really to do that, I need a lot more views on the videos. Because if you get 5% purchasing off your merch, I need like 100, 200,000 per video, and I haven't had that for a long time. So guys ask for merch. That's a reality. I'm not going to put $20,000 in merch that just sits on the shelf for 10 years.
Well, they'll literally never do these again. Like custom.
Oh, those
having
were
everything
awesome hats.
top to bottom.
These were awesome.
Two
This is
spec.
old school one.
Exactly how we wanted them done. Would never do that again. They said if you ever want to do this, we
That's
we
true.
need like 50,000 units to even begin to consider it. So don't ever bother us.
And my audience, participating audience, just is not there. So sorry. So thanks so much. Oh, by the way, this is a King's Performance SKG hooded jacket. I'll put a link below. Sportsman's Warehouse has these, and man, what a cool pattern that is. What do you think, TD?
It's a camouflage, but in inverse colors.
This is considered a mid layer, so it's not really an outer layer, but I'm using it as an outer layer. I'm sorry, an outer layer today in the very cold warehouse. By the way, it's about 25 degrees out here, and feel how soft and quiet that is. Excellent. And then he has a Columbia jacket on.
Yeah.
My watch today is a Fossil. And what's yours?
I got that. The Glycine.
Combat Sub. Awesome. I'll put a link below. That'll take you to Ashford. Last time I checked, I had a really good selection of those. And we're done, boys and girls. Let's see how we did time-wise. Well, we talked about a lot, I guess. I thought we went quicker than that.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, my guys like long format content. That's what we like.
Yeah.
And we give you more detail. So great job, Smith & Wesson. Great job on the folding pistol carbine. Come see us again real soon. Lots more reviews, philosophy videos, adventure videos to come in this very crazy clown world. We hope to provide really good, solid entertainment and information. See ya.
I hope Smith & Wesson does an RDB survival.
Hit it.
Not move back. Dog check. Dog present.
Present and accounted for.
Not move.
Good shooting, bro. You're hitting them all.
Jinx me.
Just a man in his field with his dog.
Bang. I love that you can feel when you're out.
Yeah, you can feel.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very telling.
You got another mag in the stock.
Gotta have one of those.
Hey, did you kill something, guys? Because I want to go get it. Did you kill something? Please tell me you killed something. I want to go get it if you killed it. Did you kill something, guys? Please kill something.
Not go anywhere but here.
You're funny. You're funny. You're funny.
Goes quick when you're having fun.
Yep. It's about 500 rounds right there.
Woo!
It really does look more MG42ish from the side.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, that's a cool profile.
It does.
The upswell, the block,
Yep.
the rib. Actually, in a way, I wonder if they were inspired by it.
I got left my light over there, so I don't have a light.
Well, if you think about it,
Let me go night shot. There we go. Night shot's good.
someone probably did get the idea from looking at like an MG34.
Because
the MG34
this whole part looks like an MG42 to me.
Well, have you seen the barrel change?
Well, I mean, just it's reminiscent of that.
Yeah, but the way it cams out, you hit the thing and you rotate the receiver away from the barrel to slide the barrel out. It's super cool.
You love that thing, don't you?
Very cool.
It's awesome.
You're awesome too, dog.
Little thing keeps spinning off.
Hey guys, where's the stuff you shooting at? You got any birds to retrieve? Rabbits, perhaps? Maybe some deerkins? I'll go get them for you guys. I'll go get them for you. I don't care. I'm a Labrador Retriever. I'll go get them for you. Show me where they are, guys. I heard a lot of shooting, but I don't see a lot of killing. I'll get them for you.
Oh, you.
Doodle, I get them for you. Yes. You're a cuckoo dog. You're so cuckoo. You're a cuckoo dog.
Huh.
We tried to have her stay back. She wants to be right with us shooting.
Yeah, give him kisses. Give him kisses in the mouth. He loves it when you give him kisses like that. He loves it when you give him kisses. Yes, he does. Guys, let's go fetch some pheasant you was killing. I heard the bullets. I heard the bullets. Where are they? Come on, guys. Let's go.
Mauled by a dang lab.
You're funny. You're funny. You're a cuckoo dog.
She's been